Hi, this is David Erickson, and for today's eStrategy webcast, I'm going to take a look at Miss Utah's flubbed answer to a question on income equality for the 2013 Miss USA competition, and the subsequent fallout online, and how it may pose some reputation management issues for her from here on out. So let's start by taking a look at the clip of Marissa Powell screwing up a question about income equality for women.
A recent report shows that in 40% of American families with children, women are the primary earners, yet they continue to earn less than men. What does this say about society?
I think we can relate this back to education and how we are continuing to try to strive to figure out how to create jobs right now. That is the biggest problem, and I think especially the men are seen as the leaders of this, and so we need to try to figure out how to create education better so that we can solve this problem. Thank you.
Yeah, so that's tough. You saw her stumble through the answer. She obviously hadn't thought a lot about the question, so she didn't have a ready-made response, had to come up with one on the spot, and was probably a little scared. Stumbled through her answer. You could see she had a brain freeze, and I've had that happen live on a broadcast and have a brain freeze, and you try to struggle for an answer, and more you start thinking about the dead air and how you're messing up, and it all compounds itself. And luckily for her, she sort of realized her mistake and tried to tie it into a jobs question and get out of the situation as quickly as possible. But she did screw up, and people noticed it. And so next, let's take a look at how people responded to that mistake. So television watching, especially for live events like Miss USA pageant, it is no longer a passive entertainment. It's now a two-screen entertainment where people turn to social media and comment on the television show they're watching at the time that they're watching it. So here you see Topsy.com is an analytics service that measures social media conversations. And I have done a graph here with mentions of Marissa Powell's name, mentions of the hashtag Miss Utah, Miss Marissa Powell is Miss Utah, and mentions of Caitlin Upton. Now, as you can see, June 15th, no mentions of anyone. June 16th, the day of the pageant, the spikes for Miss Utah go through the roof, and that's likely due to her screwing up the question. The spikes for Marissa Powell spike and then continue to climb on the next day. So because of the infamous answer to, or flubbed answer to a question, her name was gained traction. People learned who she was, and not in the way that she would have liked, obviously. And then finally, mentions of Caitlin Upton spiked during this period as well. And Caitlin, of course, is the Miss Teen USA from 2007, from South Carolina, Miss Teen USA candidate who majorly screwed up a question. So she was the last beauty pageant contestant to flub a question during one of these competitions. So people react to what they're seeing on television through social media almost instantaneously. So that's sort of what happened with the reaction to Marissa Powell's flubbed question. So in addition to commenting on social media and chatting among their friends during the show, people will also start searching for more information, either during the broadcast or after it, if they saw it, or even after the broadcast when they heard about it secondhand. So they're going to look for more information because they didn't see the show themselves. So people will turn to search to look for more information. So you can see on June 16, this is the day of the Miss America pageant, Miss USA 2013 was the most popular search at Google with over 1 million searches. Related searches were Miss USA, Miss Utah, and Marissa Powell. So people were searching for, because of her performance, because of her messed up or her flubbed up answer to that question, were searching for more information about Miss USA, and they knew her name too. They're searching for Marissa Powell. So most popular search spiked that day, and would tail off the following days after the pageant itself. So let's take a look at the search results. This is the search result for Miss Utah, and you can see it is the 18th today, so 2 days removed from the actual broadcast. There are news stories about after flub, Miss Utah outshines pageant winner, so a positive headline there for her. Miss Utah says confusing question led to her gaffe. Utah gets a second chance and doesn't flub it. There's the Miss Utah pageant homepage, more articles. So there's a bunch of articles about her messing up that question, and then there is also the YouTube video of her answering the question at the bottom of the search results. So that's for Miss Utah. People searching for Marissa Powell will get articles as well, but her Twitter feed comes up after the articles, and then images of her, more articles. So it's almost all dominated by articles about her mistake. But she does at least have her own Twitter feed showing up in the search results. And so, as we mentioned, there's a lot of social media chatter about her mistake, and she is on Twitter herself. So let's take a look at Marissa Powell's Twitter feed. This is backstage prep right before going on stage for a swimsuit at prelims. So she's tweeting prior to the actual broadcast, going up to the broadcast backstage prep for Miss USA tonight, and she tweeted an Instagram photo of that. And then please direct all media requests to Utah@castingcrownproductions.com. Congratulations to Marissa for placing. So that is, it was tweeted by her. That looks like, no, she retweeted that. So that is in response to her mistake. She's getting all kinds of media requests, and she's having a casting company deal with those media requests. And then she's headed to New York City. She's going to be on the Today Show. So Today Show is where people go to when they mess up in situations like this. And so she is, as you scroll through this, you're seeing a lot of thank yous. And she's thanking people who are offering her encouragement and support. And the thing about that is that public speaking is among the most frightening things for most people to do. And so everyone has sympathy for anyone who does public speaking, especially if they make a mistake. So there's a built-in reservoir of sympathy for her in that situation, and that's reflected on her Twitter feed. But nevertheless, all of that content of her screwing up that question will likely follow her for the rest of her life, and we have a previous example to show what that might look like for Marissa Powell. And that example, of course, is Caitlin Upton, who was a Miss Teen USA candidate from South Carolina in 2007, who messed up a question about why so many Americans cannot find the United States on a world map. And to refresh your memory, I'll play the cringe-inducing clip.
Recent polls have shown a fifth of Americans can't locate the U.S. on a world map. Why do you think this is?
I personally believe that U.S. Americans are unable to do so because some people out there in our nation don't have maps, and I believe that our education, such as in South Africa and the Iraq, everywhere such as, and I believe that they should, our education over here in the U.S. should help the U.S. or should help South Africa and should help the Iraq and the Asian countries, so we will be able to build up our future for our children.
Thank you very much.
So 5 years later, Miss Teen USA's video of her answering that question has more than, at least on just one video, has more than 58 million views. So let's take a look at what her online presence looks like in search as a result of that one fateful answer to a question. When you search for Miss Teen USA, the top search results are for official website Miss Universe, Miss Teen USA website. You get a article about Miss Utah's botched one, because that's a recent. You get a Wikipedia entry. You go down through the listings, and you actually do see the video clip, and that's just for Miss Teen USA. That doesn't mention Caitlin Upton's name. It's not Miss Teen USA South Carolina. It's just Miss Teen USA. So she shows up in even just that generic search result. When you search for Miss Teen USA South Carolina, which a lot of people do search for, that video, that YouTube video, is the first result of that search. So that's top and center. And then Tosh.0, Comedy Central routine on Miss South Carolina, and Wikipedia entries, etc., etc., etc. So, but the first link is the most damning right there, right? When you search for Caitlin Upton's name in particular, you get all of this, and everything is about her mistaken answer to that question. So she even has a Wikipedia entry, and that's where Google is drawing in all this information from Wikipedia for the sidebar information. It's got the screenshot from her answering that question. It's got a short bio. It's got some information about her. But you go down the list, and there's Huffington Post. That's going to be a top result always, because Huffington Post gets a lot of search engine visibility. You can see the snippet is about her response to that question. Katie Upton. There's, it's all about her answering that question. There is a Twitter account for her. So she has Katie Upton Twitter account, but all the rest of the links are about her answering that question. That follows her over the course of her life. Let's look at her Twitter account. So the only way that she gets a voice in all of that online presence is through her Twitter account. And as you can see from her Twitter account, her bio says, yeah, I'm the map girl, but there's much more to me than y'all think. Follow my journey, and such as. And so she has, this is about as well as you can handle it. She's got a sense of humor. She's laughing at herself. And you can see that she's responding to the recent mistake by Miss Utah as well. So some of her recent tweets are regarding that mess up by a fellow beauty queen pageant contestant. So that's her only response. And aside from that, when people search for her name, they're going to come across. She's never going to she's never going to outlive that poor answer to response, and she was just a teen doing it. So, I mean, a lot of people have a lot of sympathy, but the first thing that, when you're looking for a job, the first thing that people do is employers do are going to search for your name. Now, we probably shouldn't have a ton of sympathy for these two women. They are, beauty queen contestants. They're going to have plenty of opportunities. There's a lot of built-in sympathy, as I said before, for being in public and answering messing up a question on stage. So there will be a lot of sympathy for them. But ordinary people don't get that luxury. If you have made a mistake in your life and it shows up in the search results, it might look like something like this. Maybe not to this large extent, but it could be something that follows you for the rest of your life. Now, you'll notice that both of these examples have one thing in common. Both women have Twitter accounts, and so they have a direct access to media through which they can have their voices heard amid all of the negativity of their online presence. I do a lot of online reputation management work for individuals and brands, ranging from embarrassing moments like this to inappropriate images associated with brands to maybe unfair online reviews, for example. And the one thing that you can do in situations like that is fight content with content. So in this case, these two women both have Twitter accounts, but they could put out more and more content to at least have their own voice heard amidst all of the online content that's about them that's dealing with these two embarrassing moments. So that's one way that you can deal with it if you have the expertise and know how to put that content online in a way that it shows up in shows up in search visibility. So that's it for this eStrategy webcast. Again, I'm your host, David Erickson. If you like this video, please be sure to like it and share it with your social networks. I'd love to know what you think about it. Leave your comments below, and of course, be sure to subscribe to the eStrategy YouTube channel so you don't miss any of these videos. Thanks for watching.